So I'm here in the UNESCO World Heritage Center of Odesa. Last night there was a huge barrage of Russian rockets and drones, and one of them struck here, a historic building in the center of Odesa. There's a lot of extensive damage onto the courtyard off the street side, and it is just another example of how Russia wields terrorism here in Europe. We're in a European city. This square has actually been renamed European Square. Since 2022, there's a memorial, you can probably just make it out behind me as well, to Ukrainian soldiers who have lost their lives resisting Russian aggression. And this tactic of using terrorism, striking historic centers of cities in Ukraine, knocking out the water and the electricity, which is the reality here this morning in the center of Odesa, it has a very poor track record of actually being effective in warfare without a big military gain on the battlefield, something which Russia has objectively failed at since 2022, really, to actually have any sort of big advance. So this kind of terrorism, well, what is the impact of it on everyday life here in Odesa? Of course, it disrupts the normal cycle. People can't have a shower in the morning. We need generators to run everything. There's no electricity. But people, they clean everything up. As you can see, the emergency services here behind me. And you can also hear the purring of generators. The cafes are working, and people are going about their life as well as possible in spite of the terror that was unleashed on the denizens of Odesa last night by Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin and the Russian state and its people, ultimately, at the end of the day. So from Odesa Mama, this is what actual resilience looks like in the real life. It's not as maybe dramatic, it's just getting on with the normal things that Russia tries to prevent people from being able to do here, having a normal life. So the vain hope, in my opinion, that they will abandon the Ukrainian lands and just give it to Russia in the end. This is bound to fail, or it's destined to fail, in my opinion, looking at what's been happening with the war. But it just is a reminder, it was probably the biggest attack of 2026 on the city, that Russia does still have the capability to hit Ukraine because of the lack of air defense, in particular to ballistic missiles and other missiles that are fired by the Russians here. Ukraine has made huge strides in terms of the drone interceptors against the Garan or Shahid drones here. However, they still need supplies from their Western partners, especially the Patriot missiles, in order to defend the cities properly until they have a domestically produced solution to that. I trust that the Ukrainians and their ingenuity, they will come up with something that will effectively defend the city from the attacks we saw last night sometime in the future. In the meantime, stay strong. Slava Ukraini, Horom Slava, and do peremоги.